Good day, everyone. It's me again, your teacher JN. And here is our video lesson for weeks 5 to 7. Our topic is implicit and explicit claims. For today's video lesson, or this week's video lesson, our most essential learning competency is identify claims explicitly or implicitly made in a written text. Our three types of claim, we have claim of fact, claim of policy, and claim of value. Our specific learning objectives determine the key elements of explicit and implicit claims, differentiate claim of fact, claim of policy, and claim of value from each other, and lastly, identify claims of fact, policy, and value presented in written texts. Let's begin. So though you are just watching this video lesson, so let's try to go over the activity and let's try to do it even by your own self using your ball pen or your paper. But it might, of course, be very much different from the way it should be done or performed inside our classroom. Okay, I have here sentences or statements divided into two. So let us try to read them one by one. Student grades measure achievement. For Team 2, student grades do not measure achievement. For Team 1 again, sentence 2, train law is just. Team 2, train law is unjust. Team 1, same-sex marriage should be legalized. For Team 2, same-sex marriage should not be legalized. I want you to take a stand or you choose which team you want to present. So, you might want to give your thoughts or support at least one or all of the sentences presented to you at the moment. For instance, you have idea on student grades measure achievement and then go ahead, write your reasons about it. You might want to support train law is adjust, so go ahead and write your reasons about it or your thoughts about it. And of course, what about on the last sentence? Same-sex marriage should be legalized. If you want to support that, then go ahead and write your thoughts or ideas about it. Okay. I hope you got a paper and you started writing all your thoughts about each topic or about each statement. Just write whatever your idea on each sentence or on each statement. But of course, you choose which team would you like to be. Is it team 1 or team 2? Okay. So you may do that for like 3 to 5 minutes. And then now, let's go to our process questions. So what do you think is the role of the statements in the activity, which is actually debate time? You try to do debate by yourself only. Or if you can have your classmate, you can chat with your classmate, you can have chat with your classmate and do your online debate. Or someone in the house, you can have your sister or your brother and then make a mini debate on that. Now let's focus on the questions. What do you think is the role of the statements in the activity? The statement type, train law is unjust or train law is just. Then how did you defend your stand, your chosen statement? Whether you are team 1 or team 2. And how will you relate the activity to paragraph writing? I want you to think about the answer to those questions. So as I've said earlier, I ask you to choose statement and then write your reasoning. So what do you think is the role of statements in the activity? Those statements, as mentioned in number 2, serve as your stand. Serve as the statement or the sentence that you believe in and that you want people to understand or to believe in as well. That you want people to appreciate and think about also. And reconsider or consider their idea about it. Now, how did you defend your stand? Based on my instruction earlier, I asked you to give your reasoning, to give your arguments about it. And if ever you can find evidence to support your reasoning, then go ahead. That's better. How will you relate the activity to paragraph writing? So when you are engaged in a debate, it's the same way when you are writing. It's just that in a debate, it is done orally. But when it's writing time, of course, in the form of writing through the use of pen and your paper. So it's just the same way. But when you write and when you write, you have a stand or something that you believe into that you want people to appreciate as well, or and then you defend your stand or you give reasoning or you justify your stand by writing down your arguments. And that's how you convince people when you are engaged in a debate. Let's go back to the statements. Student grades measure achievement, or students' grade do not measure achievement. I want you to recite your reasons before we proceed to go to the second statement. Well, I hope you're done. Train law is just. Train law is unjust. You give your reasons. Same-sex marriage should be legalized. Same-sex marriage should not be legalized. What's your stand? And what do you think is the difference between each statement, for instance, in Team 1, and between each statement in Team 2? All of those statements actually, as I've said already, contain a stand, a position, or an opinion. In our lesson, and in writing, we call them claim. And what is a claim by Delgado 2008? It is an arguable statement. Arguable simply means can be subjected to a debate. Something which can be proven true or untrue. It is an idea that a reader asks an audience to accept. You want your audience or your reader to believe. It is an idea, an opinion, or an assertion. A statement we make to an audience with an anticipation that they should agree with it. So those are the definitions of claim according to Delgado 2008. Bottom line is that is your position, that is your opinion or idea, and you want people to believe in your idea. We call that claim. And we actually have three types of claims. We have claim of fact, claim of policy, and claim of value. But what do we mean when we say claim of fact? What do we mean when we say claim of policy? And what do you mean when we say claim of value? Claim of fact asserts some empirical truth. It can be determined by observation, and we think it to be rightly true or false. An argument turns on strength of evidence presented as reason for arguers' belief in the claim. So when we say claim of fact, you are trying to establish a truthfulness or falsehood of an idea or of an opinion. It may be true or it may be false, but the way to prove it is through observation or experimentation, or there is a way to find the truth. That is a claim of fact. You can prove it or disprove it. Samples. Research studies are conducted to improve human condition. So we have what is the topic here? It's all about the research. What do we say about the research? That it is conducted to improve human condition. Can you create a research or a study about it to prove whether this statement is true or false? Yes. You can do a research. Number two, success of teaching depends upon the creativity of teacher. Do you agree? Or you don't? What are we talking about here? It's all about the success of teaching. What do we say about the success of teaching? Well, it depends on the teacher. Which can be proven wrong or which can be proven true through research as well, through observation. So if it can be proven or disproved, then this is a claim of fact. Now we go to the next one, claim of value. It's an assertion of judgment. So when we say judgment, so it is something subjective. Number one, keywords that are a matter of judgment rather than fact. Good, well, kind, useful, desirable, etc. Based on things we like or dislike. Argument usually turns on whether the underlying value of the claim is accepted as a public good. So unlike claim of fact, which can be proven to be true or not, a claim of value is subjective and it is based on personality, behavior, value, religion, and belief of someone who is claiming or asserting that claim or stating the statement. That's why it's called an assertion. That's why it asserts some judgment. Okay, this is subjective and cannot be proven false or true. Samples. Musical comedy is the best form of entertainment. It may be true to some and it may not be true to others. Can we prove it? Well, that depends on one's orientation. That depends on one's belief or judgment. And the clue here is a claim of value usually contains evaluative language or adjectives. What's our clue here? Best form. It may be, for others, the best form of entertainment may be playing sports, may be watching Netflix, and others. Number two, communication is better than communication. Our clue word here is the word better. Who says communication is better than computation? For language major, we can say communication, yes. But for math wizards, those good in numbers, will say no, computation is better for several reasons. This is based on someone's judgment. Number three, birds are the most lovable pets. Well, it depends. Some will say, no, dogs are the most lovable pets. No, cats. No, fish. Again, it depends on someone's judgment. Unlike claim of fact, which can be proven. Alright? I hope that's clear. Now, let's go to the last type of claim. We have the claim of policy. Asserts that an action should be taken. Again, our clue here is the statement calls for an action. Number one, look for keywords should and ought. Those words signal action. Two, tells what happens if we do take an action or what happens if we fail to act. Of course, those are the supporting sentences. Argument usually turns on whether the reasons for taking the action outweigh the possible costs of taking an action. So, clue word for the claim of policy, again, it calls for an action. Usually contains words like should, ought, need, and others. Examples. The government should continue to offer scholarship programs, especially to the poor but bright students. First clue, the word should. Now, it's a claim. Yes, it's a claim policy. What is the statement saying? Is there a call for an action? Yes, there is. What's the call for an action? Continue to offer scholarship program. Who will continue to offer the scholarship program? It's the government. What will the government do? Continue to offer scholarship program. Number 2, gender equality needs to be strengthened in the academy. What is our clue? Needs to be strengthened or need. What do we need to do? Let's strengthen the gender equality. Is there a call for an action? Yes, of course. Strengthen gender equality in the academy. Number 3, we need to start investing for the future. Clue word, need. What do we need to do? Start investing. Who's going to start investing? We. Is there a call for an action? Yes. What's the action? Start investing. That is claim of policy. Now, let's practice. Number 1, swimmers are more attractive than volleyball players. Let's practice. You write your answer on a piece of paper, and then we'll check afterwards. Number 2, soda contains nothing to improve one's wellness. We need to elect council officers to address certain concerns of the people in the barangay. Number 4, sleeping 8 hours a day makes a person productive. Number 5, research activity needs to be part of the curriculum. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds to finalize your answer, and then we'll check. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go to number 1. Swimmers are more attractive than volleyball players. We have the subject, swimmers. What do we say about the swimmers? They are more attractive than volleyball players. Based on the statement. Our clue word, more attractive. And which type of claim uses adjectives? It's a claim of value. Others may have different value, or others may have different take on this. Because they may think the other way around, that volleyball players are more attractive than swimmers, or other players of different sports. Number 2, soda contains nothing to improve one's wellness. It contains nothing to improve one's wellness. Can you prove it? Can you do an experiment to be able to prove the claim on that statement? Yes or no? If you can, therefore this is a claim of fact. Number 3, we need to elect council officers to address certain concerns of the people in the barangay. Clue word, need. What do we need? To elect. Is that an action? Yes, of course. So is this sentence calls for an action? Yes. What's the action? To elect council officers. So what is this type of claim? It's a claim of policy. Number 4, sleeping 8 hours a day makes a person productive. Do you believe in that? Is that true? Can we make an experiment or a research to prove that? Yes, we can. Now, that is a claim of fact. Research activity needs to be a part of the curriculum. Clue word again, need. What do we need to make research activity part of curriculum or include research activity? Is there a call for an action? Yes. Let's make the research activity part of the curriculum. Therefore, it's a claim of policy because it calls for an action. I hope that's clear. Now, let us try to save our claims in paragraph. So I have here our first paragraph. Homework gives children additional burden and does not significantly help in their education. Doing homework often feels like a chore for children. It consumes much of children's free time, which they could use for doing other activities that will make them well-rounded individuals. Excessive homework on top of school projects and exams may cause children too much stress and eventually they may experience burnout. What are we talking about here? We're talking about homework. what does the paragraph say about homework? That it gives children additional burden. So what is there a claim rather? Is there a claim in this paragraph? Yes, there is. The first sentence, the bolded one is the claim in this paragraph. And if you will notice, that claim is also the topic sentence. And the rest of the sentences serve as the supporting details of the claim. And the last sentence, of course, it's the conclusion, restating the point of the first sentence or the topic sentence. Question: what type of claim is this one? We're talking about homework. What do we say about homework? This paragraph is claiming that it only gives children additional burden. Is there a call for an action? None yet. We're just trying to describe what homework is. Or what does homework do to our children? Is this something based on judgment, or is this something which can be proven true or false? Yeah, of course. You can do a research to prove or to disprove this particular claim. You can do an observation. Therefore, this paragraph contains a claim of fact, which may be proven true or untrue. That homework gives children additional burden. Paragraph number 2. The government should raise the minimum wage in order to improve the living conditions of the people. The raise would increase the people's buying power. With enough money, they could afford to provide themselves with their basic needs. Like in countries where the minimum wage is significantly higher than that in the Philippines, people are able to provide their families adequately with what they need. In the long run, the raise could improve the quality of life for most people and increase their happiness as well. What's our topic sentence? It's the first sentence. What is the topic? It's all about the raise of the minimum wage. What does the paragraph say about the raise of the minimum wage? That, our clue word, the government should raise the minimum wage. Is there a call for an action? Yes, of course. What's the action? Raise the minimum wage. Therefore, this paragraph contains the claim of policy. Last paragraph. It is wrong for vegans to impose their lifestyle on people who consume animal products. Vegan choices are often more expensive. Not everyone can afford to buy only vegan products. Moreover, a vegan diet lacks certain nutrients that are found in a regular diet, such as protein. It is then annoying to hear vegans call for such a drastic change in one's life, especially when that change does not really benefit the men. First question: who do you think wrote this paragraph? Do you think the person who wrote this paragraph is someone who is also vegan? May or may not. But probably, based on the claim, this person is against vegans imposing their lifestyle choice on other people. And what is our clue? If the statement contains an adjective, that is a signal or that is a sign that is actually a claim of value. Because the author has a different value. The person is not a vegan. It's a different value. It's a different practice. It's a different lifestyle. And that person's judgment, it is wrong for vegans to do what they're doing, which is imposing their lifestyle to other people. That's why the claim in this paragraph is a claim of value. It is a judgment by saying that vegans' imposition of their lifestyle is wrong. Okay? I hope that our different types of claims is clear to you guys. Now, for our activities, we have here for the assimilation, it's actually on your learner's packet, but I'll try to explain it to you. For week number 5, You will only do 1 to 2 activities per week, ha. For the assimilation, you write 150-word paragraph. What's the topic? Social media benefits and drawbacks. In this essay, you are required to use claims such as claim of fact, which you learn from the lesson. Indicate the claim to use and write it at the bottommost part of your paper. You are free to encode and put it on a bond paper. A rubric is attached for your reference. Here's the rubric: use of claims, content, structure, conventions, for a total of 20 points for your assimilation activity week number 5. In other words, write a 150-word paragraph about social media benefits and drawbacks. Focus on writing the claim of facts. So that is week number 5. For week number 6, you have 2 things to do. Letter A, pretend that you are one of the officers of Supreme Student Government in your school and you are tasked to write a report about your school. The report should contain 3 current problems or concerns experienced by students like you. So, possible solution for each problem should also be proposed. Merge your identified problems or solution to produce 3 claims of policy. Be guided by the rubric that follows. In other words, for week number 6, what you will do is think about the problems that you are experiencing in school. Even we are in this setup, the distance learning. What are the 3 major problems that you are experiencing? And think about possible solution or proposed solutions or actions to solve the problem. So your proposed actions are of course called claim of policy. That's for letter A. For letter B, just write on a sheet of paper, probably at the bottom or under your paragraph. You write CP if the given statement is a claim of policy and NCP if it's not a claim of policy. You only have 5 sentences to identify if it's CP or NCP. Lastly, for week number 7, you also have 2 things to do. Letter A, just write or make an acrostic poem. So you gotta create a poem. What makes it acrostic is that you will start each line with the letter VALUE, which spells out value. Just a poem and then be guided with the rubric provided here, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And letter B, second part, is you write CV if it's a claim of value, and CV if it's not a claim of value. So just the same. So mercy killing is objectionable because it's still an act of killing. Claim of value or not a claim of value. Identify, write on your paper. Again, I hope our lesson for weeks 5, 6, 7 is clear to you guys. We only talked about implicit and explicit claims, the different types of claim. 1 claim per week. So what you will do, guys, you do your assimilation activities as well as the assessments. Don't forget to do both. Okay? And if you have any question, do not hesitate to post your questions on our group chat. You made use of the video lessons that I am creating, guys. Make use of it. Take advantage of it. If you have still anything to clarify, just post on our group chat. I hope everything is clear. And till our next video lesson. Bye!